guys, so look who got themselves a selfie stick so I can talk to you guys properly on the streets of New York City, looking like a regular crazy person. But yeah, so in regards to my topic for today about recovering from people pleasing, we're gonna talk about insecurities. And someone told me that they like my topic for my channel, recovering from people pleasing, because this is something that they too struggle with, especially in the regards of dealing with someone who is narcissistic. So they wanted to hear more about, the manipulation and all that stuff. And I will go into that stuff on the channel, but I want to talk more about us and what makes us people pleasers, because if he can figure out what it's making us get into these situations where the people are basically users and abusers, and we're constantly putting ourselves out there, getting burnt out, and filled with anxiety and all these different things, then we're gonna be able to handle ourselves and not get into those situations. We're gonna know what to look for within our own self, because the problem doesn't start with the people. The problem starts within ourselves, right? We are the one that need to. Anyways, we are the one that needs to look at ourselves and see what is actually causing us to fall into these different situations, these different traps. And a lot of times we get into these situations because of our own insecurities and our need to feel like we have a sense of worth. And because we feel like we don't have this sense of worth, we put ourselves in these harmful situations. And yes, some of these situations are very harmful. They're not only toxic, but they are harmful physically, right? If you can figure out what is going on the inside of you, confront the situations that is happening in your life, what is taking place. Ooh, thank you, son. What is taking place on the inside of you that is causing you to basically have all these struggles? What is causing you to have all these inner turmoils? So confronting yourself. And I came up with this acronym because I love acronym. When I was in school, that's how I learned information. That's how I retain a lot of information. It's either by creating an acronym or by singing a song, making up a song with the information. And that's how I basically learned and, remember the history, assignments, dates and stuff like that, is by creating a song. So I came up with this acronym called transformation. Thoughts that come from us is really God's thoughts. God putting His thoughts in us, and then when we partner with God, Lord Jesus, I hope it's not gonna rain. When we partner with God and allow His words, His thoughts to flow through us, then it comes out of us, and we say we have this idea, we have a thought, But anyways, I got this idea, this thought that came to me about transformation, changing. What a caterpillar goes through its chrysalis or its cocoon, there's a transformation that takes place. And because of this transformation, we get the butterfly, right? In the cocoon is a dark place. You can't tell what's happening in the cocoon, the chrysalis. But for me, I think within that chrysalis for us as individuals, where we're in that place of isolation, in that place, I think in that place is where We're basically confronting ourselves and nobody can see, because that's what the butterfly does. The butterfly goes into this cocoon and it comes out and transforms, and nobody knows the actual process that is taking place. You know, scientists can talk about and get to what is happening on the inside, but you couldn't actually see what is taking place because it's a dark space, right? So in the spiritual sense, we as human beings, when we are in that place of transformation, that place of cocooning and changing, we are basically confronting our own self. We're confronting our own thoughts, our abilities, you know, the things that we think we can and cannot do. These are the things that we are confronting about ourselves, because a lot of times we doubt ourselves so much that we don't get anything done. So because we do all that stuff in that place of isolation where we have to figure out who we are, truly are, and the inside, so that way we can change and be transformed. And when we are transformed, then we are better able to isolate all the different stuff. We're better able to isolate all the different stuff that is taking place on the inside of our hearts. So I came up with this word transformation. And the fourth letter in transformation is truth. And you have to tell yourself the truth. You have to tell yourself that I'm a people pleaser. And it goes deeper than that. You have to tell yourself the reason why you're people pleasing. The reason why you're people pleasing is because you have all these different insecurities, you know, and because you're not working on yourself, you have all these different issues bubbling up on the inside. So yeah, so the first thing is to tell yourself the truth. What is the truth that you can tell yourself today? You know, when I had to basically tell myself so many different truths. I had to tell myself the truth. I could no longer cross a sheet. I can no longer look at myself and say, this is happening to me because someone is doing something to me. No, I had to look at myself and say, this is happening because this is a deeper issue within yourself. Your issue is you don't want to feel rejected. Because you don't want to feel rejected, you feel that you have to do everything that everybody say, and because you don't want to be seen like an outcast, you're people pleasing. And when you're people pleasing, now you get stressed out, burnt out, filled with so much anxiety. Man, I'm telling you, the years that I've spent in anxiety and worrying about what people think, I wish I could get back those years, but I can't. I can never get back those years that I spent looking at what others think or what somebody think. So telling yourself the truth is gonna begin the journey. Yes, I want to talk about the manipulation and the gaslighting that I experienced, and I'm gonna talk about those stuff. I am. But in the meantime, I'm focusing more on helping us realize the reason why we get into the situations and to begin the journey. Because it doesn't matter if you know the signs to look out for when someone is gaslighting you and trying to manipulate you. If you doesn't have if you're not working on yourself, because it's like two different magnets. A people pleaser and an abuser is two magnets, and magnets are always drawn to each other. No matter what you do, you're just gonna be drawn together until you put something in the midst that stops the attraction, right? So this is just my word. of encouragement for you guys. So for us today, you know, is to get to the roots of what is taking place on the inside of us, and we'll better be able to start walking away from our people pleasing tendency. But we have to tell ourselves the truth. You can't sugarcoat the truth either. Like, if you know you're you value the praises of people, man, tell yourself the truth. I value the praises of people, and that's why I do half the stuff that I do. You have to tell yourself the truth. If you don't tell yourself the truth, that journey is not going to be good. And we're going to go through the rest of the letters. But for today, the first letter in transformation is T, and it's talking about truth. Telling ourselves the truth. As I figure out, I can actually extend this stick a little bit longer. Lord, it's a learning curve with this selfie stick, guys. But this is us on the streets of New York. We gotta be talking, walking, and having conversation.